always out here shredding on a day-to-day basis. You know, it's pretty wild to watch them. They're pretty freaky.
Pretty freaky.
Yeah, dude. They kind of get like wild out here. It's uncontrollable sometimes. PCB Skimmers are valid, man. They're always out here shredding, doing what they do. It's pretty cool. It's cool to watch. From someone who's never skimmed before, it's fun to watch. I'll say that.
What's it like being a pro coming out of PCB?
Man, it's a dream come true. I would have never thought that I would be a pro. I grew up skimboarding here with all these kids that we're here with now. And man, I wanted to be pro one day and told myself I'm going to grind every single day. And I'm finally a pro, and I love it, man. It's amazing.
It's hard to describe what it's like to be a PCB skimmer just because nobody knows what it is. That's why PCB Skimmers was created, because nobody knew what it was before, and everybody knew that Nokomis existed and all these other East Coast communities existed, but PCB was slept on.
Skimbo Slice!
Being a PCB skimmer, it's pretty sick. We got a pretty cool group of guys that we all get together and skim. We all try to get out all the younger crowd to skim and go to these contests and just be prominent out here in the skim community and all the skim contests.
Being a PCB skimmer, it's good and bad. Good because we're all like super stoked all the time, but bad because we really don't get super fire waves.
You know, it's fun. You get to go out to the beach, hang out with your friends, skim, learn, throw some cool tricks. But other than that, it's pretty awesome being a PCB skimmer.
So I feel like this is probably one of the better like sandbar breaks in the Panhandle of Florida, especially on the Gulf side. And our community here is like untouchable. We don't really have like a super established surf shop or a group like that out here, but our community, like the guys together, we all link up and make it happen. Anytime there's a good wave, we all let each other know, and our group chat is probably one of the best in the game. So I love being a Panama City Beach skimmer.
I have no idea.
Well, it's really everything you would ever want. I mean, you get to hang out with some of the best skimboarders and surfers in your area. You get to know everybody. It's kind of like living the island life without actually living on an island. It's actually pretty cool. If you've never visited Panama City Beach, it really is a cool place. We got beautiful white sand everywhere, beautiful clear water, and every once in a while, you know, we get some good waves. But it's always worth coming and checking it out, even if you don't live here.
What do you think qualifies someone to be a PCB skimmer?
There's not really many qualifications. I mean, as long as you got a board and you live in the Panama City Beach area or Panama City area, I think you can be part of the PCB Skimmers.
Just be part of the squad, have the stoke, carry the stoke, and express the stoke, share the stoke with everybody else, try to get kids stoked into doing what we do, and anybody that wants to participate in what we do, we should do everything we can to help them and make that happen, bro. It's all about a sense of community for us.
Not spraying little kids. Just having a good attitude. Just being positive. Teaching little kids, not spraying little kids.
You gotta know how to 3-shove. If you can't 3-shove, you're not a PCB skimmer.
I think it's just really just being here from PCB. If you guys live here in PCB, you can probably skim anywhere down the beach and probably find one of the PCB skimmer crews. And if you live here, even if you just are visiting, you can come hang out with us whenever, and we'll skim and we'll show everyone what's up.
Showing up and hanging out. Who cares how good or bad you are at skimming? Just being out here and hanging out with everyone.
There are no skills and qualifications necessary. You just kind of got to be a good sport, you know, because we're not really looking for people to come in here and, you know, ruin the entire community. So as long as you're a good person and all that, you're in.
How does PCB waves compare to other waves like California or the East Coast?
Yeah, PCB, that's why it's good to have our good skim community, because sometimes we don't get those good waves, so it's nice to have like the friend group out here and skimming even when it's crappy and just doing what we can out here with these crappy conditions. But that's also a good thing. Sometimes we wait for these good swells and then we get a good swell and we really embrace like how good it is. So, but yeah, it really does suck sometimes having these small, tiny, choppy waves. It kind of makes you wish living in California or somewhere on the East Coast where you got like swell every single day. But we're still blessed to get the PCB skim for sure.
I mean, it's not, we can get some good ones here, but for the most part, just the way that the sandbar forms here, it just kind of dies out the skim waves, unlike California where it'll break actually on the shore for it.
Wave-wise here on the Gulf Coast, we're never going to get the same amplitude that those guys get, but what I feel like me personally, it develops more tech-wise skimmers here, and our waves are more difficult. So when you take the experience that you learn from riding a wave like this to the East Coast or to California, yes, there's always going to be an adjustment period, but if you can get to the point where you're competing here, you can compete anywhere.
We learn tech, we get the tech quicker, but the disadvantage, you know, we don't get a lot of waves to skim, so like it's kind of harder for us to, you know, get our fair share of bigger waves. But yeah, I'd definitely say the advantage here is to, you know, learn tech, get the tech down.
How you doing, man? My name is Devin. Everybody call me Water H2O. I moved out here in Panama City at the age of 17 just to, you know what I'm saying, experience life. I also felt like it was a calling. I never really even knew what skimboarding was, you know what I'm saying. I only been doing it for about a year and a half. And when I first saw it, I was like, bro, that's sick. That's something I wanted to do. And I started, and I tried the first time. My first board was a Raptor, the best board I ever had, you know, and it's just something I want to stick with for the rest of my life, you know.
What advice would you give someone who's wanting to start skimming here in PCB at least?
My advice is like when you first start, it's probably the hardest to learn because it's just like you're falling constantly, and it just gets pretty rough. But I say the best thing to do is just keep doing it, skim with your friends, and then go to these skim contests too. That's how you get better. You see these pros and everything like that. That's the way to do it.
I would just say just kind of keep practicing every day if you're looking for a career, but if you're looking to just kind of do it on the freestyle, I mean, still the same thing. It's good to practice every day. Just make sure you're gonna want to warm up every time and then cool down and do a hot tub session afterwards.
Talk to a PCB skimmer. If you see somebody skimming in PCB, hit them up and be like, hey man, can you teach me how to do this? Because everyone's really willing to teach the youth.
Lots and lots of YouTube videos. I feel like that is like a sponge to skimboarders that they don't realize, and like watching people.
My favorite part about skimming, it'd have to be just the community, the hanging out with friends, being with the friends and family. That's probably my favorite thing about skimming.
What I like about skimboarding is it's peaceful. You can just come out here after having a bad day and you make your day a lot better.
It's beautiful out here, so whether you're a beginner, you know, amateur, you know, semi-pro or professional, being here in Panama City, it's all about the stoke and being a part of the community. So all in all, it feels wonderful to be a PCB skimmer, man.
Pretty much a lifestyle at this point. Good little group of guys. We all enjoy the same hobby. We're all pretty good at it, and we all have fun doing it. That's really all that matters at the end of the day.
It's like a family. Yeah. It's literally like a family. We grew up together, and you know, coming together, skimboarding, it combines all of our interests.
It's all right, you know. It's pretty flat most of the time, but we got a good group. We get together sometimes. It's pretty fun.
It's very fun. The waves sometimes here are a little small, but when it's good, we do make the most out of it.
So originally, I first moved here in 2018, I think, and COVID happened, and I got bored. So I went to the beach. I saw these kids skimming on a wood board, and I went to Publix. I begged my mom to get me a board. So I went to Publix, got me a board, and then it's just where it started.
I think I was in like second grade and I saw some kids skimming and like riding the waves in, and it kind of like blew my mind. So when I got older, I figured out kind of how to do it, and then over time it just became like second nature, so it's pretty cool.
My dad.
Yay!
I've always been watching a bunch of these YouTube videos on it and decided that I'd give it a shot eventually. And then I just kind of kept doing it every day, you know, got a couple new boards and then started competing. So.
And I seen videos on skimboarding and I was like, I like this. So then one day I went out to the river and I was with one of my friends and he had a skimboard. And I tried it and I instantly had it. I instantly got on the board. I learned to shove it the first day. I was like, oh yeah, I like this. So I got my first skimboard on my birthday, and during COVID, I was going to the beach every weekend. And that's how I got into skimboarding.
So my dad used to skim back whenever he moved here, and then I started seeing their videos like Z on Instagram and Caleb and Toby. And I said, Dad, can I get a board? He said, sure. So he gave me one of his old ones, and I started coming to some of the sessions, started skimming with my dad. Yep.
A kid named Daniel Bodenheimer. I watched him rip when we used to work jet skis together, and I said, dude, I want to be as cool as that guy. So I started skimboarding. And thanks to him and guys like Destin Smith, shout out Uncle Salt, we progressed to the point that we're at, and now I can actually have a little bit of a platform to help this community grow out here.
I don't even know. I was like so young, probably just seeing my brother or like other people do it. I feel like we moved here when we were super young, so we saw somebody do it, and then my brother got a board, and I was like, oh, my brother's got a board, I want a board too. So that's how I started.
I got into skimboarding just with the friends on the beach, just for something to do as like a hobby.
I've been skimboarding since I was just a little tiny grom. I've been on the wooden boards, and then I got my first fiberglass board when I was 9 years old, bought it with my birthday money. And ever since I got that board, I never stepped off of it. I got carbon fibers, and then I got sponsors, and then you just keep going deeper and deeper. And I mean, once you learn, once you feel how rewarding this sport can be, you never want to take your feet off of a skimboard.
I was actually playing football, and I had to stop playing football because of an injury. And to keep my competitive side, my homie, Jim Allen, he showed me skimboarding, and just been skimboarding ever since.
My dad, he brought it to me when I was a little kid. A bunch of his buddies grew up skimming, so it's just another thing he showed me when I was growing up. So it was super fun, and you get to hang out with little kids like this. Yeah, that's why it's good culture. It's fun.
So whenever I was young, I was probably about 6 or 7 years old, and I would see the locals do it, and I was a local too. And some of my best friends, you know, I had a best friend, and his name was Kyler, and he has 2 brothers named Ben and Cody. Shout out to them, man, because growing up, we would go hang out with them, and you know, we would just hit up the beach, and they showed us a lot. And that's when I fell in love with skimming.
Originally started skimming when I was just like a kid, just riding a woody, you know, hitting the low tide when it's nice and flat. The older I got, I really got into it a lot more. I got a little fiberglass board when I was probably 14 or 15. Started sliding around on that. Started understanding that you could catch waves on the skimboard rather than just doing flat land, stuff like that. And then once I figured out the technique of wave riding, it really took off from there, as far as getting a one step down and learning how to side slip and, you know, wrap and get your footwork down, all that stuff. Once you piece all the puzzle pieces together, it really makes a portrait for you, if you know what I'm saying.
Mainly my parents, really. They grew up surfing, so waves aren't great here for surf that much, so migrated to skimboarding.
A wooden board at Walmart. Just I was skimming water like that, just flat bay water, and then Aiden Gorman showed me that it was possible to hit a wave on a skimboard. I didn't know that was possible, and then after that, I just kind of do it every now and then, dabble.
Just seeing people out doing it on the beach, saw some cool videos of it, and I was like, I want to try that. I was watching Jack Tenney growing up, and he taught me, or made me want to very bad to learn how to do it. So that's my inspiration for sure.
I got a board when I first moved here on Christmas, and that day I went down, saw a couple guys skimboarding and thought that was pretty cool. Decided to try it out.
When I was younger, I had a boogie board, and I boogie boarded all the time, constantly. But then sometimes there wasn't waves to boogie board, and then I saw some kids like skimboarding on these wooden boards, and I was like, I'm gonna try it out. Started trying it out. I could actually ride it, and I was like, dang, I kind of like this more than boogie boarding because I can actually do this all the time. And then eventually my parents got me a Wave Zone. That was the first board I ever had, a Wave Zone skimboard. But yeah, I had that as my first actual fiberglass skimboard, and that's when I really kind of fell in love with this. Once I got a fiberglass, I started able to do more tricks like shoves and 3 shoves, and then I got into contests and everything, and then that's when I really fell in love with it. Got carbon fiber boards, and then started competing in contests, and then now it's like my life. So I ride an Apex skimboard, the tinny model. Like their boards, they float way better for me. They float way better, and I get more pop and stuff. Like when I ride down the line or something, I can pop off the wave, like do an airdrop or hit that 180 off the lip pretty easily. I've noticed with my Apex, so that's why I ride Apex.
I ride a 49-inch Zap Rocket Fish, and I just like it because it fits my style.
I ride for Zap skimboards. The board that I ride right now is a Hellcat, but I use every and any model that they produce because they're the best boards in the entire world, man. Once again, big shout out Zap.
I ride 2 boards. One is an Exile, just a hybrid shape, and the other one is a new board. You know, ultimately, I just like the board. A name's a name, but if it floats good and it rides good, I'll ride it.
Yeah, I ride a Whip V2. That's my daily board. I like it just because it's really round and still has a good pintail on it, so it's a lot more float for bigger guys like me. And also I ride a Raptor, which is more of a wave board. It's a little lighter than this one is, and it just gets me out to waves and feels a little more like a surfboard than this one.
I ride a Cazador V2, 51-inch from Zap Skimboards. It's actually Yahir Valencia's pro model. It's great for me because whenever I am on the East Coast, I love to ride the waves, but whenever I need to throw the tech, the board's got it for me. So
right now I ride a Zap Fuse X, and it's nice, but I feel like it is made for bigger waves. So when we do get big waves, like from hurricanes and stuff, the Fuse X.
Right now I'm riding the Raptor. I like the Raptor, one because Gerardo Valencia, it's his pro model. That's my homie, man. And the board actually rides very, very well, and it's very good for tricks and mushy conditions as well. So it's just an all-around good board. I love it.
Some good basics to start skimboarding. The one step is definitely probably the biggest thing for me, at least, with the choppy waves. You know, you got to be able to get on the board within a reasonable amount of time. Like the shove-its, once you start learning the shove-its, they just grow from there. Another good basics is just getting comfortable on the board and just getting familiar with what's underneath your feet. All boards are different, so since they're different boards, they also ride different. So good basics to get a familiar feeling with the board underneath your feet. That's a good start.
So if you're a beginner and you want to learn your first trick, I would recommend either a 180 pop shove, which if you've even tried to do it on a skateboard, you can 100% land one on a skimboard. And if you're not too comfortable learning the 180 shove-its, I would just say like those little 360 spins where you drag your hand and spin around in a circle. Those are usually super fun, and you can take those to new heights. You know, that's with any trick. You learn a new trick and just keep messing around with it, find everything you can and can't do with it. And but yeah, 180 shoves or those little 360 spins, best beginner trick. My personal favorite trick, I would say, would have to be a shove grab, or no, I'm gonna change that answer to a front side 180, because once you learn how to do a front side 180, you will never do another backside 180 again. And they're not easy, but once you learn how to do them, they become a lot easier. And so yeah, front side 180 is definitely my favorite trick. The next trick I'm working on, front side big spins, front side 3 shoves, all that good stuff.
Ooh, my favorite trick to do on a skimboard, I would have to say the 540 shove it. It's one of those that when you land, it feels super clean, just makes you feel cool. A goal trick of mine right now is definitely a finger flip.
Probably gotta be a 3 shove every once in a while, and maybe a back 180.
Backside air 180. So your goal trick, probably a 5 shove. Either a 5 shove, like out the back, or on a wrap.
3 shoves and maybe like wiggly flips.
5 shove. I like skimming more for the wave. So like if I were to say a trick that had to do with that, it'd probably be like, honestly, probably like alley-oop. I know I can't do them all the time, but when I can, they're fun. And it has more to do with the wave than just tech.
I'm not too techy, but my favorite trick is probably just a wrap to one shove.
It just depends on the conditions. Like if it's big, I like barrels all day, but smaller, you know, punchy waves, I like to do some airs, a couple airs. I'm not very good, but I like to do it. It's fun. Just riding waves, that's my thing. All these other guys, they do a bunch of tricks, which is kind of lame, but airs and barrels is the way to go. Wave riding's the best.
My favorite trick is called a fire hydrant.
360 out the back. That's what I'm known for. A varial kickflip. That's what I've been practicing.
Right now, it would have to be probably shove grabs. The goal trick is 3 shove grabs.
A front 3 shove or a 7 shove off the lip.
I like big spin re-entries to flat. Like a backside wrap with a big spin to flat, to me, is one of the cleanest waves you can do. But I also saw Jack Tinney do the jug spin out the back in Sebastian this year, and I have to give a shout out to Jack as well. That was probably the coolest thing I've ever seen done on a skimboard. Double Widley flip, first ever double Widley would be crazy.
Probably the front 5 shoves. Those are like my bread and butter, and I love sticking those. So yeah, front 5s all day. Goal, probably a kickflip. If I can land a kickflip one day, man, I'll be so stoked. The day that I land a kickflip, I'll be screaming my lungs out.
Who would you say is an up-and-coming skimmer out of PCB?
I'd say all the PCB skimmers out here, the up-and-coming, all the contests we all go to and everything, we're always like in the podium and everything. So I'd say all of us, everyone, like Toby, Aiden, me, Skimmakilla, like all of us, man, we're all coming up.
I'd have to bet money on Dave and Caleb. I feel like they're pretty good, and they're like a big part of the community, and they kind of keep things like going, which is pretty cool to see.
Lachlan's on the come-up.
Definitely Lachlan. Don't tell Z I said that, but definitely Lachlan. Like every time I see him, he's just ripping. He just does new stuff, but Z's locked in, dude. So Z and Lachlan for sure.
Daniel Cole. That kid's been killing it.
For sure, Daniel.
My boy Finn. He's, I don't know, he used to not skim a lot. He used to be buttons, but he's not anymore. Yeah, he spent a couple sessions with everybody and started getting better. Started having sessions together and just took off from then.
Z and Lachlan. Between them two.
Daniel Cole for sure. Z, that kid is going to be huge, and he's on track to do bigger things than what some people have done, you know, and it's not a bad thing. It's just the stoke that kid has. He's a good kid.
Going to be Lachlan. I mean, everybody loves that kid. I mean, when you run into him on the beach, he's the most purest little soul, and he shreds his little heart out. That's probably my favorite right now would have to be Lachlan.
I think Daniel Cole, really, he is one of the best.
I think Lachlan and Daniel are, I mean, everyone already knows who they are, but they never stop getting better.
This kid right here, Z, this kid Lachlan, they're gonna be pros, no doubt.
What's up? Uncle John shreds.
It's a little bit embarrassing because they're better than me, but I still try.
Toby, Z, and Lachlan, I feel like they got a bright future ahead of them.
Daniel Cole. Shout out my boy Z, baby.
I say Lachlan. Lachlan's getting good. He's progressed so much since I started seeing him skim. I went against him last year in PCB, and since then he's progressed so fast. He's catching up. I think he's gonna be next up.
I would say my buddy Daniel Cole.
keep watching, baby, because this is just volume 1 or whatever it's gonna be. Panama City, we got some big things coming y'all's way.
Big things coming, dude. Big things coming.
We're about to shred out.
What do you see in your future of skimming?
My future? Just to keep doing what I'm doing, man. And I'm it's for one thing, and it's just to keep it going, keep the good times going, and seeing the kids progress, and even the adults progress. It's one love and it's one sport, and that's the only way that this sport will ever grow and keep continuing to grow, is if we all come together, no matter who you are, where you're from. We all need to do this because we got one goal, and it's to put skimboarding on the map.
Sharing my knowledge and the things that I know with all the other young and up and coming skimmers, and I mean even people that are my age who are trying to get into it. Like, it really doesn't matter who it is, but what I'm looking forward is teaching and sharing and spreading that stoke that everyone is always chasing.
Well, I hope that I can go pro someday and to encourage other girls to start skimboarding, and I've actually helped a lot of girls learn how to skim, so I'm very proud of myself.
It's more of just a hobby. I know a lot of guys try to take it, as far as they can, but with my job and things, I can only skim so much. But no, I try to get out there every chance I get. I skim out here just about every day, so I'm always busy, but I still make time for it, But I believe my body will catch up to me before the hobby does, I feel like I'll get tired physically before I'll get tired of skimboarding itself.
Honestly, I'm getting older. It's not really one of my main priorities anymore, so I'd like to get sponsored. I don't know if I see that happening, but I'm just going to be out here for fun, I think.
Very dependent on my career. I'm probably going to end up going into the real estate brokerage deal, but I will be making clothes on the side, and if I can learn how to get my website running and print it well, then my future won't be in skimboarding itself. It'll be in a business expanding the sport of skimboarding. That's what I see my future in skimboarding as. Something that helps perpetuate the growth, like YouTube videos, fun ones and stuff like that. But I'm not gonna get any better. I suck. I'm not gonna become some crazy alley-ooping, 5-shoving skimmer. I don't plan on it, but that's my future in it.
I just see it as doing something fun as a hobby, nothing really huge.
I don't know, man. Don't really think too much about the future. I just kind of live day by day, and I've been blessed enough to have the right family around me, have the right community around me outside of PCB to help my skimboarding career. So I really owe it all to the West Coast, honestly. I owe it all to Hank and Aaron, Steve. Shout out Exile.
Oh, I'm gonna be the best. Without a doubt, you know what I'm saying? That's what I aim to do. I come out here, I get out here every day. It don't matter, I don't got no specific time, no set schedule, but as soon as I get out there, I'm not leaving the beach till the sun go down, you know what I'm saying? Even if I did get out there at sunset, I'm gonna keep going and going and going, I definitely want to be the best, so that's what I aspire to be and what I achieve, you know what I'm saying? What I'm hoping to achieve. You know what I'm saying? Or at least to get sponsored, y'all what I'm saying? Just shout your boy out one time. Y'all say what's up. Y'all already know what it is. H2O, Young Dead about this mug. We having a good time.
Well, really, I just want to bring skimboarding to more people in the world. That's why I'm doing skimboarding lessons down in Nokomis Beach. I just want to grow the sport of skimboarding and, kind of be a totem pole in the sport for sure.
I'd like to be a semi-pro and maybe a pro one day.
I'm not really in the competitive scene, but I do appreciate freestyle skimboarding, so I think I'm going to stick to that.
I definitely would love to try to go pro and, try to train up that way, but I just like wave riding, and I just see myself just being like a chill guy, part of the community that's like, just around and like, skimming and, got a good face here,
I do want to go pro in hopefully about 2 or 3 years. Maybe win a couple competitions as a professional, but yeah, that's where I want to go with it.
Turn semi-pro before I'm 18. That's like my main thing. I don't want to go pro. I want to be pro as an adult. I feel like it'd be better because I can move places and whatnot. But semi-pro by 18. That's it.
Man, same place here. Just coming out here with my boys and just trying to have a good time, watching the sunset and just skimming some fun waves, goofing off. That's about it. Hopefully we can try to get a big skim trip to the East Coast with everyone one day. I'd like to see that in the future, but we got a long way before that happens. Got to get these kids acclimated to bigger waves, so got to do an East Coast trip first.
But probably just filming and just coaching. That sounds like fun. And yeah, making edits and filming and getting good angles on people that are better than me because I'm getting old and my body hurts.
I don't know, I'm just kind of having fun with it, learning new stuff every day, new tricks. Whatever happens, happens.
I mean, I'm hoping to get up there and, you know, become a professional eventually, but like just kind of keep building up my spot in the ranks and stuff. So I'm definitely going to look at this as a lifelong career.
My ultimate future for skimboarding is to see it become an Olympic sport, and Skim USA as an organization is pushing towards that super hard. So I want to shout out John and Wendy and say thank you for everything you do, as well as Zap Skimboards. As long as we keep doing the stuff that we've been doing, the sport's going to progress on its own. We have such a massive amount of young kids coming into and breathing new life into it that we're really unstoppable at this point. I just want to see progression and all my guys get better.
The sky's the limit, man. Hopefully one day be a professional skimboarder and be one of the best in the world. So next competition, it's going to be August 30th, 31st up in Vero Beach. Shore pound throw down. You'll see me. And it's going to be on YouTube. You got to check it out. You're going to want to watch it again and again and again.
Growing up, I grew up skimming Nokomis, where it was always a big thing there. I'm used to big crowds, but even now we have 50 more people that show up every day.
Again and again and again. Come check me out. Vero Beach, shore pound throwdown. Come see me. Woo!
And you're seeing little kids, 3-year-olds running around with boards. And then especially here in Panama City, a couple years ago, I never would have thought there would have been a community up here. And now it's, everyone knows each other. There's well over 40 people that just all know each other. So it's definitely boomed a lot, and I think people are finding a sense of family and community here.
I feel like PCB Skimmers is going to grow very rapidly, and it already is. It's already growing pretty big. I mean, per sesh, we already have at least 8 to 10 people, big sessions, 20, 25, 30, kids out here. So it's definitely growing fast.
The skim community is great right now. I really enjoy being a part of it, and I think it's just going to keep kind of building up for the future,
I just see it growing. It's a beautiful thing, and I just see it getting bigger and bigger, man. Tighter knit community, more organization, more maybe local events that we put together ourselves, but I don't see it doing anything other than growing.
I feel like our skim community now, there's at least 40 or 50 of us that I could call and just be like, you guys want to come skim, And I think that's just so awesome, and I just hope it just keeps on growing like that.
Our skim community is growing. We just need to grow it more. I feel like eventually PCB Skimmers will probably open a business where we have lessons and stuff, or a skim camp in the summer.
PCB skim community is great, dude. I mean, it's freezing out here, and we got a bunch of kids and groms and people like me just out here having a good time, just trying to enjoy the water and the sunset. It's way better than sitting inside and playing video games, so I only see it growing, honestly, especially when the summertime hits. All these kids will be out of school, they'll get their friends out here. It's just, who wouldn't want to be out here? You got a nice sunset, a bunch of cool friends, good water. I don't know where else I'd be, honestly.
They treat you so well. If you come out to the sessions, sometimes people bring food and drinks. If you come out in the morning, sometimes there's donuts, and man, they're just nice. They treat you like family.
We all hang out, go skim, and we just all learn from each other. So I'd say it's a pretty good skim community here.
The community of PCB is pretty strong, and from the looks of it, from an outside perspective, it looks like it's going to keep on growing. So it's pretty cool.
Man, when I grew up skimboarding here, it was just 1 or 2 of us, man. It was me, you, and maybe one other person, man, So seeing, 6 skimboarders down there and then 10 behind me, it's amazing, man. I love it, and I see it just getting bigger and bigger.
You don't need to aspire to be anything to be with us. That's a promise. All you have to do is just come out. Sometimes you don't even need a board. More often than not, someone will have an extra board. And I think that's what makes PCB Skimmers so unique, is how welcoming everyone is. Because I've met multiple kids on the beach, don't have a board, lend them my board. I won't skim for 30 minutes. I won't care. I need a break anyway. So, if you want to come, just come hang out. It's nothing crazy.
The skimmers here are very supportive. We definitely like to have a lot of fun when we do skim together.
At the end of the day, man, it's just out here to be you're out here to have fun, not to be better than everyone else. So that's probably what I could say. Don't focus on the competition too much. Just focus on everything else around you that's cool in life.
For the Groms, since the Groms are already kicking my tail out here and like actually showing me up, y'all keep doing exactly what y'all are doing. You guys are killing it. Keep killing it.
Perseverance, patience is key. I feel like I can't even really speak to the Groms because some of them are better than me. So it's kind of hard to tell somebody that's better than me how to do something. Y'all need to go speak to Zaniel and Lachlan, like I was saying. But I would say don't stop trying. Yes, it's kind of expensive to get into, but the investment is worth it. Having a cheap board is only going to get you so far. You really got to make that next step, and that's where you'll really start to take off. You're going to have bad days out there. It's not always going to be the best. You're going to fall. You're going to get hurt. But at the end of the day, that's what makes it fun. When you get down and wrap one and come around and throw a 3-shove at the end, and you're like, hell yeah, I did it,
I've been doing this since I was young, and life's been hard. I got sponsored at 2. By 1, I had contracts from, Zap, and, also, that's when Vic started talking to me. But by 3, that's when I got very serious into it. 4, Apex wanted me bad. They offered me $1,200,000. The contract was very high, but Vic was just offering so much more. I'm very dedicated, and my life dreams are to be on, the water and to continue my path doing this. Yeah, and Mike is me, bro. Just let me be me.
What do I do after a skim sesh? Go home, eat a good meal, and just lay down. Go to sleep.
Just try it. I mean, there's a way that you can learn, and it'd be safe. Like this little dude, I know you probably can't see him, but Stellans, wave at the camera. He's learning. I mean, he's really good. He's 6 years old, and he's out here hitting raps and stuff. I mean, you just gotta try it. If you haven't tried skimming, try it. Put God first. I got nothing else.
The whole reason this was created is so that you can go on the beach and you know who you're skimming with. You don't feel like strange when someone's skimming 20 feet down from you and you can't say hi or something. Like, everyone's here to be nice. Don't let anyone pressure you into doing stupid stuff. But yeah.
Peace and love.